Now it's time to get started with the real testing on the lab. So what we will do is we will do a set of tests you see in the left menu: sorted list, unsorted list, tables, and form validation. And this is going to teach us to do data-driven testing. So in the beginning, we will start by doing simple recorded tests. And then we're going to learn how to bind this into data to be able to create a lot of reusability between the tests. And the purpose of this is, of course, to be able to, in software as a service interfaces where you have different functionalities, create project, create user, delete project, to be able to automate this in a very, very reusable and smart fashion. So I think you will see as we go along what the purpose is. So let's start by creating a first module here for sorted lists. And here, of course, I can create the module. I could put an entry level on the module level, which would be normal, but right now I'm going to do it on the test level instead. Add item to list. And here, of course, I can click into the list, but I can also put the entry URL to sorted list directly in the test. So if I do this and I'll hit this green button, it's going to change directly into the URL, and you can see the URL is sorted list right there. So of course, the naive way of doing it would basically just to add a number of, let's do real things here, clean the floor, needs to be done. This is a to-do list. Wash the car. And then we are gonna create a validation that these things have been added. So I'm just gonna create a validation on clean the floor. So I'll hit this little validate here. It's gonna create an assert equals for this thing, wash the car. And then I'm gonna go ahead and delete them again. So now we should have a test case that does exactly this, that tests, that adds the items, tests that the items have been added, and then delete them again. So it's a cleanup condition. So let's try this. I'm gonna hit the top link, so it starts from the beginning, and I'm gonna hit the play button. And as you can see, it's a success. So now if anything would have been broken in this functionality, this would now have been failed, right? So what we want to do is create regression test for functionality that should be working. But as you can see, this is very specific. I'm hard coding. You can see in the code, clean the floor, wash the car. And if I would have to change this line, I would have to change this line, etc. So what we're going to do now is instead we're going to make this a little more dynamic and a little more interesting.